Do you want to do the intros this time? Didn't I did it last time?
No, you do the intro. You do the intro.
Fair enough. Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Neon video, and with it also Chief. And we're back for another episode of Chief and Neon's Weird and Wacky Adventures. And with this time we're talking about, we decided this on Twitch last night, we're going to talk about the simulation. Explain the simulation to me, Chief. Explain.
Okay. Well, first of all, that is also my bio inside of Discord, is living in a simulation. But simulation is basically like we're living in The Sims. Something else started up. It's the Matrix. We're living in the Matrix. That's what all this is. A lot of people have been recently have been like Elon Musk and other people have been saying that we're living in a simulation now. I believed it forever. I was like, there was just weird stuff happening, man. I feel like since 2016 it's gotten more intense. I feel like that was the year that when everything was like pretty much like,
yeah,
I was convinced. I was like, yep, something happened. Maybe 2012. They say that the world did actually end in 2012, and we're just stuck in a simulation. But that's what the simulation is. It's basically the Matrix, the movie The Matrix. That's what it is.
That's a scary thought. Right. So is there any possibility that I could like change my avatar to make me more handsome or anything? Edit my character.
Yeah, you have to take the what is it? The red pill. You have to take the red pill.
Oh, damn, man, damn. No, that's a scary thought to think that everything could be outward controlled. It's like the biggest thing of that is like, does your life have purpose? Is it you controlling your life, or is it other people controlling your life for you? Like,
exactly.
That's scary. Like, do you have any free will?
Well, I always say like this is kind of getting on the topic of religion, but I say the simulation theory is like it's the perfect excuse for religion, because if this is a simulation, the only reason it would be happening is to run tests or see what's going to happen. And then most religions, it's like a test. Are you going to be a good person? Are you a good person going throughout your life? Are you going to follow these commandments? I don't know what religion it would be. It would be Christianity. It would be Buddhism. But whatever it is, I think the simulation theory is the perfect excuse for religion.
Yeah.
If we are living in a simulation, then maybe religion's right. So
what would you say that, like, where does the simulation stem from? Like, what created it? How could we possibly be in a simulation right now? Like,
that's a good question.
How does it start? Is this like, are we like Matrix style that we're like, this is the year 9000 that we don't know, and it's we're playing 2020? Like, what a fucking year, by the way.
Oh yeah, exactly. See how crazy it's getting? It's because the dudes running the simulation now here, like, you know what? Let's put it into expert difficulty.
Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's up the difficulty for these people. Sorry, they've been on easy for far too long.
Yeah, because I mean, like, even if you look at The Sims, like if you play The Sims and stuff like that, you can do a lot of stuff inside The Sims on like the PC power we have now. So maybe somewhere in the universe or in a dimension, there's a little kid on a supercomputer just playing out Earth right now, and he's just like, you know what? I'm about to put it in overdrive, and he started throwing down freaking fires and volcanoes erupting, and he's like, let's go.
Bloody hell! He's obviously taken a toilet break then through the year 2020, because he's not. Yeah, he's like, not.
Them drop. If you ever played SimCity like 3000 or SimCity, like those old school games when you start dropping like catastrophes, UFOs, you're like, let's go.
Yeah, nobody actually played those games to build cities. I just simulated the biggest city possible and it just destroyed it.
Exactly. That's what we're in.
Earthquakes and fires and UFOs and everything. I'm just like, yes. So, but yeah, no, okay. So you said that. You know what that reminds me of when you said like some kid in a simulation. Can you ever remember that scene? I can't remember if it's from the first Men in Black movie, where at the very end, it's playing marbles. Yeah, and it backs out, and there's a galaxy, and it backs out. There's another galaxy. It's just a fucking marble, and there's an alien playing these marbles, and the camera pans out again. There's more aliens in a locker room or something like that, and I'm just like I must have watched that like 8 years old. I think my collective mind was fucking blown. I was like, what? I was like, that gets you thinking. So like the human race as a total, if it's like a simulation, is it like a simulation programmed as it with computers, or is this like a simulation as in like an experiment? So there could be like some intelligent alien race out there that maybe has come down, scientific experiment, done this, done that, made the conditions to give us, and they're just watching us evolve, writing down notes, seeing what we
They're just sitting
do.
there like shaking their head like, look at them.
Look at them go. So young, they're in their angst phase.
Yeah, it's like, oh gosh, look at these guys. They're out here. They don't even know what to do with what they got. They're out here bombing each other.
I know. Like, but if that's the case, like, when do they stop it?
I think they're gonna when we all just kill each other. I think they're just waiting for it to just phase out. They're like, okay. See, I think they probably had the dinosaurs going, and they're probably like they were looking there like, and all of a sudden, they're like, put the world on autoplay, and it was playing. Asteroid hit, and it was like, well, okay, well, we'll see what happens next. And then we popped up, and they're just waiting. We'll see what the autoplay has next.
Okay. Yeah, they're like that. Not what we thought was going to happen, but okay, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, they're probably watching us, and they're like, God, bring back the dinosaurs, man.
Bring back the dinosaurs. Yeah, I know they were less complicated. So yeah, no, but that's mad. I mean, if we're going for a simulation, then how big is this simulation? Because obviously we are only on the planet Earth right now.
Yeah,
we can't go any further. But how far does this stretch?
Because they say only on Earth. They say that the world we live in it's all it is. Because when you start looking out, we haven't found life yet, and we keep on looking, and we keep on trying to find things other than us in the universe, and we haven't found anything. Now the universe is gigantic, but it's just more of like it's just a a blanket thought over the whole thing, just saying like that's why we haven't found anything yet. Is because we're just here and we're in a simulation. That's how why would somebody make something far off?
I just feel like we're like the one planet, like the one civilization is like, that one kid in school where everybody hangs out, but there's always one kid that lives so fucking far away he can never meet up with the rest of the kids. I
feel in the country.
Yeah, I feel like that we're that one kid that just lives too out the way to meet up with the cool kids.
It could be.
But yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because like I said, people always say that if we ever met fellow aliens or whatever, extraterrestrials, it wouldn't end well for us.
Yeah. Well, if they know space travel, then that'd be kind of scary. I'd be like, whoa, pretty advanced if you made it your way all the way here.
Yeah, imagine how much we could advance though if they were friendly. Just imagine the technology that we could get. I mean, not to be funny. I mean, it was only 20 years ago. I remember I was sitting in my bedroom with a black and white Game Boy.
And
look at computers with photorealistic 8K texture graphics. I mean, if you could take like 10-year-old me and put them to me now, I'd be like, nah, fucking way. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Especially phones. Our cell phones are freaking more powerful than any computer back in the day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even from 10 years ago. What baffles me is that like PC's been around since the 80s. It's like the 70s, probably even or then about 70s, 70s, 60s, probably a lot earlier than what I'm saying. But it feels like progression's been kind of slow, and it just kind of feels like since the 80s, like technology and just the human race is just gone. Like someone just hit the fast forward button and we've gone into the future.
Once Edison found electricity, I feel like ever since, because that was like 100 years ago. Once he found electricity, it was just like, bam, let's go.
Yeah, but like there's some really fucking smart people in this world. Like I don't know where all these like smart individuals are, because you think of like the complexity of like a chip, and like a motherboard and all these kind of things. How did that come to be? Because you look at even in the 50s, nobody sat there and went, right, okay, this is how we design a motherboard. This is a chip to power it. This is a processor. And you're just looking at all that kind of stuff, and you're like, and you're thinking, whoa. And then suddenly we're just like, here we are now, where it's just getting better and better and better and better and better and better. Just pushing the boundaries. What seems like every 10 years, it just seems to be something else. I mean, like I said, going to phones, you had wired phones, and then you had big chunky mobile phones.
Yeah.
And now you've got phones that vibrate and tell you how much you've walked, and you can buy a pair of shoes while you're on the bus.
Tell you what to buy. They're like, hey, you need more toilet paper?
Yeah, it's crazy. Just and I always feel like I don't know if like that's actually just from us humans that have done that, or whether or not we've had like an extra
alien stuff.
Yeah, a bit of alien tech or a bit of a help along the way It's just the last 40, 60 years, man. I've just been. You look at it and you just think, wow. I mean, World War One and World War Two came probably at the best time in the human race lifespan, because could you imagine a war of that epic proportion now?
Oh yeah, I know, right? Woo!
Like with the technology, the stuff the army have got now compared to them, could you imagine the devastation?
I'm telling you, 2020. Right, let's not talk about 2020. Is wild, man. That might be round 10. That might be round 11.
I know. I'm just literally at midnight on the end of 2020, just as it's about to go into 2021. An announcer's just gonna go round 2. Fight!
Yeah,
we're gonna be like, what?
2021, what?
I'll be like, oh no, this again. I mean, everybody was bitching. Man. Everybody was bitching about the celebrity deaths of 2019, and everybody's just like, oh my god, 2020 can't be as worse as 2019. All hail 2020, and 2020 is just like, oh my bit.
Dude, 2020. I'm going down in history.
It is. I mean, like, the human race is never going to be the same again as well now. I mean, everybody's talking about, like, obviously the flu and all these other diseases that go around the world and how we've kind of adapted to it. Like, the coronavirus now, I probably shouldn't say that on YouTube, but at this point, F it.
Yep.
Like, that's changed things now. Like,
Oh, dude.
That's going to, I don't think this virus is going to go away, you know. I reckon we're going to have to live with this for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
I think it's just gonna be part. It's going to be like measles, or it's going to be like flu, come and go. It's going to pass between. I don't think it's going to get eradicated. I think it's always going to be
a thing.
It's always going to be a thing. I tell you what, 2020 has just been a crazy year for just living in fear.
Yeah,
general. And going back to, like you said, like the simulation stuff. Like I said, it feels really weird that this just kind of feels like, I don't know, it's spiraled out of control. It feels like countries are just don't know what they're doing, you know.
Yep.
It feels so weird. It does feel like you just said. It feels like some city, but instead of fires or volcanoes, someone's just gone, oh, virus outbreak.
Yeah. Simulation, man. I'm telling you. You know, there's this thing. It's kind of like in simulation. You know, there's that thing where it's like, if you can kind of like get your hands on like certain tools inside the simulation, make your life how you want to. There's like the theory of law of attraction, and that's what they say. Like some people, you know, who believe in the law of attraction, and like they're like, if you got to believe it and it'll happen. You know, it's kind of like the same thing with the theory, or like it kind of fits in the simulation because it's like, maybe you're kind of like putting in cheat codes, you know what I'm saying? You're like, all I got to do is think of it and it pops up. Because lately I feel like this year especially, I feel like I've been thinking of stuff and it's just happened. I'm like, whoa, even on stream, thank God for Twitch, but I've been like telling people on Twitch like things. And then they come and tell me like, my goodness, you won't believe this. Like Eurovision. I didn't even know Eurovision existed. And I was telling people, I said back in like January, I was like, I'm going to get Eurovision freaking America. America needs to be in this. And then like a month ago, they announced it was like America is now in Eurovision. I was like, whoa, that is scary. That is, someone is listening.
At this point, it's not going to be Eurovision. It's going to be World Vision at some point. It's going to evolve.
Yeah,
we're going to have like Japan or something in there as well.
I hope we do. I hope we do
as well. That'd be amazing. More countries. That's definitely what we need.
But see, that's what's scary about the simulation. I feel like is like you. It's like GTA when you steal a car and you start driving around and you start seeing all those cars, the same cars around. You're like, dude, what? And then you steal another car and it switches cars again. That's why I feel like we live in a simulation, is because it's like it's our life is just like a video game. You know, they say art imitates life, life imitates art. But when stuff happens in real life, I'm like, it's like we're in a video game. It's like when I start talking about something, that's all I hear now around me, and I'm like, or if you find something out for the first time, you hear it constantly when you never heard it before. You're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
maybe it's the coding.
It's like, but there's so many things to obviously kind of collaborate that we're in like this kind of dream or simulation. Like for instance, deja vu.
Yeah.
Like things happen and you're just like, what? How is that? Yeah. How is that possible? You're like, you'll see things, you'll see like double the things. Or have you ever? Or the another thing is what the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Like you know, with the where things you think have happened and you remember them, but they're not actually the thing you remember.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like Star Wars, for example. Every time you go, say Vader's famous quote, and everybody will turn around and go, "Luke, I am your father," but it's not.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's Obi-Wan never told you about your father. And Luke goes, "He told me enough. He told me you killed him." He goes, "I am your father." Doesn't say
Yeah.
Luke, but everybody remembers it as Luke, I am your father. The Monopoly guy. Here's one for you. What does the Monopoly guy look like?
Looks like a rich dude. He has the top hat.
But the top hat. Describe him to me. What else does he have?
Top hat, suit, mustache. Does he have a monocle or no monocle? I can't remember.
There you go. There's the effect. Right. The Monopoly dude has never had a monocle, but for some strange reason, everybody thinks he's got a monocle. Like, everybody remembers him or questions whether or not they've seen him with a goddamn monocle on. It's been proven that there's been no pictures or anything of it. I think there maybe been possibly one or two, but I'm not too sure. But for the main, like, if there has, it was so out there that you would never have seen it in your life.
Yeah.
But everybody remembers this guy having a monocle. Like,
you know why? I'm telling you, simulation. This all comes together. Simulation is because, you know, if you ever played Forza and you can rewind the gameplay when you messed up, that's what happened. The kid, whoever's in charge of simulation, man, he just rewinded the gameplay and he was like, "Let me fix this real fast." And that's why when it starts playing again, we also have advanced thinking. And we're like, "Wait a minute, I think didn't this just happen?" Or
do you know what I think it is? I think it's a bug. I think for the simulation, someone's just patched this, and it's just a bug from the latest patch.
Speaking of which, me and my friends, because I feel like I've gotten everybody into believing the simulation theory with me, and so like I'll be telling like my friends or something, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you know, there's something about this," and they're just like, "What?" And like they just can't comprehend it. And I'm like, you know, like this, or I'm just explaining stuff to them, and they just can't get it. I'm like, you didn't get the update today. That's what it is.
No, it reminds me of like when you say to someone, like, "Dude, have you heard this? Do you believe in this?" And they go, nah. And then like 2 weeks goes past, and because you've told them, they start noticing things they never noticed before, and they come back 2 weeks later, going, "God damn it, Chief, we're in a goddamn simulation."
Yeah. They got the update. That's when they got the update.
That's when they got the update. How did I not see this before?
Yeah, I was on a different firmware, and I was telling them about it. And I was like, "Okay," see, and then they were like, "Huh? What?" They're like, "I don't know. I don't think so." Then they go and they get updated. They sleep. They wake up. The update happens, and the simulation rolls on.
But there's, like I said, there's so many instances of that. I mean, you can look at like sinking boats and stuff like that as well, like, or airplane crashes or anything. Like, there's moments where like laws of physics where something should happen and it just does the complete fucking opposite, and everybody's just like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" It's crazy. Like, have you seen the videos on the internet about like time traveling cars and stuff like that caught on camera, but in intersections and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Like how like there's a car coming straight at it, and like somebody ducks out the way, but there's nothing there, and then there's like this random car will appear out of nowhere, and it's caught on camera. It is blatantly caught on camera.
Yeah, it'll just like you're like, what? Or like someone will like move out of the way, but they'll be like pushed out of the way or something. Like, obviously they push and they're like, whoa, what the hell's? But like when they get pushed, the car like crashes.
Yeah.
You're like,
and you're just like, where the fuck did that just come from?
Yeah.
Or you'll see somebody get hit from a car that you were literally just looking at it. It was absolutely nowhere there.
Yeah.
And I'm just
simulation. That's the kid. He's moving it around. He's like, oh, you know what? This guy's pretty cool. I won't kill him. Or he'll be like, spawn car in here. He's doing cheat codes and he's hitting cheat codes. He's a spawn car here. And then it spawns and that's what happens.
Man, it's mad. So obviously if we're in a simulation, there's obviously got to be guardians or gods per se, or the guys who rule the thing. Are they time travelers, do you reckon? Do they go through different because there's there's a ton of theories on the internet right now. Have you ever watched like the footage of like a famous boxing match where that was recorded in like the 50s or whatever, but there's a guy there with an iPhone recording the fight in the crowd?
Oh man, I haven't seen that, but I'm gonna watch that. Whoa.
there's an old video of I forget their names now. Chaplin brothers. They did a movie, but there's one scene where there's an old lady walking down the road and she's talking on her phone.
Oh yeah, she's doing that.
Like
Yeah.
she's like that, talking, like visibly talking to somebody on a goddamn phone, and you don't realize at the time, but you kind of don't notice it at first because obviously we're used to it. But then you think about it, wait a minute, this movie was out in what, 1930 something? Like, how the fuck she doing that? And it's not like a conspicuous thing. I mean, it was done with intent, and I'm just looking at it thinking, well, that's freaky, man.
Oh yeah, okay. So last night I was just watching some old like comedy routines and stuff like that from like back in the day. I watch weird stuff like that. I know it's kind of weird, but I was watching this guy. Oh my god, I forgot his name, but he was this old black comic from like the 1960s, probably like 1950s.
Yeah,
and he said, it was weird. It was really weird because I was like, whoa. If anybody's a time traveler, it's definitely this guy. But he was doing a comedy routine, and it was old black and white footage. And he was all like, yeah, in 40 years there's gonna be a black president, so you guys better get used to that. And I was like, okay, weird that you almost got the exact date right. Kind of weird. Okay, I was like, that's a little crazy. He said it so confident.
He's like this.
Yeah. I know. Whoa, I mean, damn, he was really good at predicting it, but he just said it so confident, like he was just like, it's like, the time travel movies when they go back in time and they start memeing on like the guys, like, oh yeah, in the future this is gonna happen. It was like that moment. I was like, wait a minute, is this guy?
Well, if we want to go to time travelers, then we've got to talk about the Simpsons because they've been predicting things now for freaking years.
Matt Groening is the time traveler, and he's just been doing stuff.
he is. I think Futurama is actually the future. That's where he's from.
Oh,
he made that show. He came back, made the Simpsons, and thought, fuck it, I know what's gonna happen, so I'm gonna do this. But like, if you keep making jokes and you keep making sketches, you're gonna get maybe one or two things right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like law of probability that you're gonna hit the nail on the head or get close with something. But not to the extent that the Simpsons have done. They've predicted everything. President Trump becoming president. Have you seen the video that they did? They aired an episode like 10, 15 years before it was happening of Donald Trump coming downstairs waving and stuff like that after doing that exact same angle, exact same staircase, exact same positioning, and like 20 years later it happened. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you. They say life is hard, man. But maybe they say that so that way the time travelers just get a free pass.
It's like it's crazy. It's crazy. Either that, or he's just damn good at just like, what's gonna happen in the future? It's it's crazy.
They say that's why we're so messed up in 2020 is because the time travelers are trying to fix 2020. They're like, they messed up and they keep on trying to fix it and it just keeps getting worse. And like, oh my god, what do we do?
It's like it's Back to the Future 4. God damn it, Marty and Doc.
Like, we fucked up. How do we fix it?
How do we fix? Oh my god, Marty, we fucked up 2020.
Australia's on fire. They're like, we fixed it. They're like, okay, so what's now? They're like, America's on fire now.
I'm just waiting for England to start flooding or something, just sink into the ocean. Bye, England.
Dude, I know. Yeah, I seen this video of this huge piece of like mount. I can't remember what was that. It was kind of like around Europe, somewhere in Europe, or maybe it was in Iceland. And it was just this giant chunk of land just fell in the ocean. I was like, man, that's 2020 for you.
Yeah, land is shrinking. I mean, they always say that as well. It's like we've been living on Earth now for so long, but they always throw these like mad statistics, like the land is shrinking by 5 meters every year and stuff like that. Yeah. And not to be funny, but I've been on holiday and I've been to holiday like 20 years ago, and I've gone on holiday to the same place. I've stood at that shoreline. I'm like that doesn't look like it's receding 5 meters every year.
Yeah, that building here. That building here. It looks the same.
It looks about the same to me. It's been 20 years. Yeah. But they always throw these like crazy stats, like places are going and stuff like that, and islands are disappearing, and land's getting out. It's going to be crazy to think that possibly one day in the future, the whole planet is going to be nothing but ocean.
Could be, or it could be like maybe one day the planet, like North America, will be touching Europe. We could see each other, because like the plates are moving and stuff. Maybe the land masses will be able to look at each other. You could see it from a distance, like, hey, there's England.
Like, Chief.
Yeah, hey, what's over there?
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's all right. Nah, Mind you, you'd bump into Ireland first. We got Ireland as our lovely little bumper from the waves and storms and shit like that. So thank God for Ireland taking the blunt of everything for us. But yeah, no, like to think that obviously we've got no free will and that everything is kind of preordained. Again, that kind of goes back into our religion, doesn't it? When they turn around to you and say, "Look, everything is preordained." God wills it, or God has a plan, and you're just like, what do I do?
Yeah, that's not fun. I was gonna say, some people believe in destiny, some people don't. I don't know if I believe in destiny or I believe there's a certain direction in your life. There's multiple. I don't know. I feel like anything can always happen, but I'm not very religious. But I feel like isn't it Christianity? They say that like you have free will to do whatever you want to.
Yeah. They say that God gave us free will.
Yeah,
and then we're judged with what we do with that free will at the end of our lives, whether or not bad or good.
That's why I feel like That's why I feel like the simulation is the ultimate argument for religion. Because if this all is a simulation of life, then it would fit perfectly right into that. Because then we would have free will, and whatever we do is just being tallied and just checking. They're just checking. They're gonna, at the end when we die, it's gonna have in-game statistics. It's gonna be murder. How many hours slept, time wasted, sins. So it's funny. I believe in simulation, but I don't really believe in religion that much. But I'm just like, I feel like it's the ultimate. Like, if I was a preacher, I'd be like, we're living in a simulation here, son, and God's testing you every day. When you die, the stats are gonna rise.
Yeah. I just feel like life is in general is just like it's not too hard to understand. You know in your gut when you're doing something wrong or when you're doing something right. And I always feel like I don't know if that's like from governments or something like that. That obviously the rule of enforcement and law now is just ingrained into us, like to comply as much as it has been, or whether or not there's like greater meaning to that sense of dread that somebody feels, or when you're sad, that gut wrenching feeling. Like we've been given so many emotions to do so many different kind of things, and such a wide range that I always feel like there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I think that's I feel like that's what I have my own religion. I call it chief religion. But I think religion always just based on morality. Like deep down inside. Like even when anything in the world, when you a regular human, but see that's kind of like basic nature too. Like we was living back in caveman days, nature usually corrects itself, Like animals, if there's a bad animal, they'll get rid of that animal, So if there's a serial killer, I think back in the day we would have got rid of the serial killer. Spartan way, kicking
yeah. This is Chieftain.
Damn. Like, I think everything is like because even in like religion, like sometimes when people talk about religion, everybody deep down will be like, well, that's not right. I feel like you tell me, if I do good my whole life, but I don't know Jesus Christ, I'm gonna go to hell, but I'm a good person. Everybody says that like they're like. That's not something inside their mind or whatever. I feel like that morality is what we think of as God, or maybe it is God. And then religion's smart people was like, oh, let's just take this and put it in a book and then control people.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I mean, even today, I don't think the church is as powerful as it once was. But it's still damn powerful.
It's still powerful. And people still get upset when you talk about the religion, They're like, wait a minute. You make a joke, a simple joke, and they're like, whoa, that's not right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the culture of just 2020 in general, to be honest. I feel like everybody gets offended over everything now. I mean,
oh yeah.
I just can't. You look at the internet. The internet's probably the greatest invention, but also the worst. I feel like for everybody that just was born and just grew up on the internet, I feel like their perception of that is completely different to ours.
Yeah,
because I look at some stuff that goes on in the internet and I'm just like, why? How? Like just like the amount of effort people put into to be like knobs to other people. I just look at that and I'm exhausted reading it, and I'm just like, why would you put that much effort into just making somebody else's life a misery? Like people, I'm just like, why? And then if you try to say something, don't say that, don't do that, they get offended by it. They're like, oh, you can't say that to me. I'm just like,
oh, dude, The internet is like, it's weird. The internet's like I always thought the internet was an amazing place, but then until like the general public got a hold of it, I was like, now it's the worst place ever. And then it's like an echo chamber to people's ideas too. You know, like usually you think like, oh, the internet's out there, they can learn facts and they can learn all these like find, they can find all these questions or these answers to their questions, and instead they find like what they want to know. Like how do they want to think? They find it, and they find excuses to just go down in this lane of thinking that's like sometimes wrong, or like conspiracy. I like conspiracy theories, but I feel like the internet kind of ruined conspiracy theories because they started getting way too crazy. And I was like, okay, these people really died. Okay, they're not still, or I mean, like for instance, like Alex Jones, he was like talking about the Sandy Hook shooting. He's like, it didn't happen, and like those parents were like, my kid is dead. It happened. He's like, nope, it didn't happen. And I was like, that's when it could get really bad, and I see that happening. I'm like, oh gosh. But back to the morality thing, I was gonna say. Like when you talk about morality, I was saying, like in kids, when you have kids and when you have puppies and animals, you see that morality in them, like from when they're birthed. You see them like come up and get good. So that's why I feel like that's like that early religious type thing, or morality is there from a get-go. I don't know if it's what's it called? It's not a learned behavior because the kid will like love hugs,
love, guilt. Yeah. These are all things that are just kind of tuned into us even before we grow up. You can, like you said, you can see it in kids and babies, and they know, like puppies, they know when they've done something wrong. Like even before, like you even teach them something. Like
you like hide it too. Yeah, because they know it's wrong.
So what is that instinct? Like why are we born like that?
That's the first religion. That's what it is. The chief religion.
The chief religion.
I'm gonna become a preacher after this. We're starting a cult.
Hashtag yes, we're a cult.
Yeah, hashtag yes, we're a
cult. But yeah, no, it's been brilliant. So all right, we're gonna end this off on where do you think the simulation will go? How do you think? I know you said it's going to end when we all die, but how do you see it going for our future? So if somebody is going to watch this video in 8,000 years, hopefully,
hopefully,
where, like, for your prediction now, where do you see kind of this whole life thing going for us?
I think we will be a super advanced civilization. I think we'll figure something out on Mars. We're going to be living on Mars. That's where we're going to go. And then we're going to try to go to other planets. We're going to try to figure out space travel. We're going to pretty much exactly what Britain done to the entire world. We're going to try to colonize the universe as humans.
That is the next step, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some weird and wonderful freaking creatures. I tell you what, if there's spiders and other planets with more than 8 legs, I'm done. I'm gone.
Oh yeah. I'm out. I'm like,
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm already scared of insects on other planets. I'm like, not me. Crawling my skin or something.
Yeah, nope. Some of the juicy parasites that are on other worlds. Ooh, goody. Woo! There's gonna be so many deaths. When we try to colonize something, can you imagine if it is a habitable world somewhere, which I guarantee there is. There's going to be another. If we're this world's habitable, I guarantee there's habitable worlds out there.
Yep.
But it's gonna be so freaky because we're gonna go onto these worlds with like no immune system, these diseases that could be on that planet, like they're creatures that can bite. What could they do to us?
Just like the birth of America when they came over to America, they all started dying. Like there was like I forgot how many like Jamestown, all those like early like American colonies when they first came over here, they were just like dying left and right. Just like what is that called? Is it Roanoke? Was it when we talked about last time?
Yeah, it's just like disappear, like people just disappear.
Yep. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna go to Mars, and then like the first 1,000, they're all gonna die. No one's gonna live. The first 1,000's dead.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. I mean, they're talking about Mars. Isn't there a plan to put people on Mars relatively soon? Actually, isn't it?
They want to, but I think it's gonna take longer. I'm pretty sure it's gonna like probably 2040. We'll be like, oh shoot, we're on Mars.
Yeah, we're on Mars. There's a crazy city and stuff like that. Is mad. It's mad. Me personally, I'm hoping for a like a cyberpunk-esque future.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not as obviously as dystopian, but I love the thought of people walk around with like cybernetic enhancements.
I want the same thing. I want to live forever. I want to live to see all this happen. So hopefully we could extend life.
Extend life. Yeah, exactly. Have a 200-year lifespan.
Yeah.
Cybernetically enhance your arms. Imagine that. Imagine going to a building site, man, and just being able to pick up a freaking
Yeah, that's what I want.
and then just put it down or something like that. The entertainment we could have, like with VR in like 500 years from now, is going to be immense. Like having sensors or something placed on your skin, so when you VR or something, like you touch, you can feel it. Like I mean, already if the porn company's watching this, they're like, yes, we're gonna do that.
No, they're probably already working on it.
They're already working on it. They probably are.
They're like, someday, just soon, very soon.
So I always feel like that. I always feel like the human race, like we go and explore something, we either go and destroy it or we want to fuck it.
Exactly.
It's like our two basic needs. And I just feel like like I said, in the future, that's the kind of like future we're gonna go to. It's gonna be very political. I hope for like cybernetic enhancement. Absolutely amazing. Imagine the good that could do. Imagine like nanobots or something that could kill cancer in your body before it even starts growing. You know, just detects that and boom, gone.
They need to do it quick though, because I'm already like 26 years old. I'm like, come on now, please, let's do it quick.
I know. Every year I'm getting older. It's to getting cryo frozen is looking better and better every year. I'm getting older. I'm like, But yeah, no, I'd love to do that, man. I mean, like I said, looking at like going back to the last 20 years, just how much like games and technologies evolved. Like we'll be having this conversation in another 20 years, hopefully. If I don't die of a heart attack with the amount of burgers I eat.
Same. Oh gosh.
Just imagine the technology. There'll be things coming out in 20 years that we sat here right now couldn't possibly imagine. Could you honestly say like iPhones and stuff like that, the technology of games, like I said, even 15 years ago could be where it is today?
Yeah.
And then another 20 years from now, and I guarantee there'll be more crazy fucking shit that will be.
I hope there is. I
hope there is as well. And with that being said, guys, this is Chief and Neon, Wacky Adventures, talking about simulation.
Wackiest.
The wackiest stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know in the comments down below what you'd like us to talk about next week. Whether or not anything could do. Ghouls, ghosts, freaking conspiracy theories. The shit that's in Atlantis. I don't know. Fucking anything. Let us know.
Round 2 of simulation.
And we'll talk about it. And with that being said, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye. Take care. I'll see you soon.